you pampered fool. Inside of a year, in less than a year, I will be Russia. You hear that? I.
Good evening, goblins and ghouls, and welcome to the Wednesday night Scream Stream minisode. I'm your host, Spakenstein, joined, I should say, back with me this week is Mr. Evan Sink, back with us. Mr. Evan Sink, how are we doing tonight, Evan?
Doing good. Glad to be back.
And also back with us from last week, who was filling in for Evan, but just couldn't get enough of the Scream Stream. We've got Sylarn back in the house. So how we doing tonight, Sylarn?
It's good to be back, but don't phrase it like I have an addiction to the show.
Oh, you do.
I'm the rock of the. I was the rock of the program last week, so I felt obligated to be back.
Nah, this is just a fit. You just love this public domain horror stuff. You just can't get enough of it. Evan, that's Evan's thing. That's why Evan was jonesing last week, but he didn't get any of his public domain suspense in. He was fiending for it.
He was not jonesing. He was not fiending.
We're all fiending for it because it is Shocktober, and this is the time to be fiending for all things spooky or scary. So welcome to everybody that's joining us tonight. I see we got Kathy in the chat, Ethan in the chat, Alana in the chat. Welcome, everyone. Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. Hope, again, you're enjoying the riches that this time of year has to offer. Again, that's why we got a full panel tonight here on the Scream Stream, because we're just swimming in the riches that is Shocktober. And again, if you're not watching horror movies 24/7 already, now's the time. This month is going to be over before you know it.
Yeah, Garrett, how many movies did you watch today?
Oh God, I can't even count on my two hands how many movies I watched today. So it was a mess. No, I do. I constantly try to have fat fingers. I constantly try to have the TV running with some horror movie if I can help it.
Yeah.
So
what'd you catch today? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, well, I caught a classic that you two will certainly be familiar with from a long time ago. Watched a little bit of Them today.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, you guys.
No, I'm just used to you having the same horror movies going on somewhere at the house. Like whenever I'm home, I'll come home and you're just running the same crap on Tubi over and over.
Oh yeah, crap, as you like to call it, is some people's comfort watches. So
Garrett, it is crap, and you know it. It's kind of painful to watch.
Well, again, sometimes that's part of the fun, is because it is painful. So
yeah.
I'm enjoying this time of year, as I do. So I hope everybody else out there is as well. I had to make a list a couple days ago to make sure that I don't leave anything out of the movies that I want to make sure that I watch.
That you catch this month,
right? That I want it, because it happens. It inevitably
before Halloween.
Yeah, no, you're right, because it inevitably happens that there's some that early in the month I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta watch this, I gotta watch that. Month is over and I'm like, oh, I missed it. This was the time. This was the perfect
it's
time.
already halfway over, so I hope you're halfway down your list.
Yeah, well, again, I just made it last night, so if it's any indication, I'm behind. Again, trying to make all the wonderful stuff here for the Scream stream. I haven't been able to watch near as many movies as I would like. Just constantly sitting behind this dang computer. And if you were with me last night in the arcade, then you'll know how many frustrated moments I spent here behind my monitor.
Like trying to figure out the borders for Poggles.
Yeah. Whether it's editing my never-ending short film or playing Manos, I'm constantly just
stop playing Manos then.
No, Manos has been great. It really, it's been a lot of fun. It's just, I'm not a gamer. So, and that's part of the fun for our audience. I think that they've enjoyed that.
Have you got to the Plan 9 part yet?
Oh, see, no, Evan, I have not gotten to the Plan 9 part yet.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Plan 9 part?
Yeah, so that's the thing. Yeah, the movie or the game starts the movie. I've done that a couple times. The game starts to branch out into different cult public domain horror movies because obviously there's not enough material in Manos.
Yeah,
right?
There's not.
Flying out of Manos.
Right. Yeah. And so last night at one point we were in a biplane and Torgo was also
biplane scene for Manos.
Yeah, you remember that scene when Torgo gets in a biplane and he's fighting Mike and they're like, and Debbie's dangling from the wheel of the helicopter. You remember that?
The wings or the hands on the wings.
Right, yeah. And Torgo's plane is like all rickety and flying erratically because he's on acid. That's a lot of so that was fun. And then the next level, so that's the thing. So I was trying to catch up last night, so because I got behind last week, so I was trying to get through 3 levels last night. I did get through 2, so I'm not quite caught up all the way, but I'm close. And the last level that we were at last night, the big bad I had to fight at the end of that was Roman from Robot Monster, another cult classic.
So they're not even following like a cult hard type paradigm. They're just
that's what I said. No, robot. There's a movie. So I'm going to educate you here, Silarn. There's a movie called Robot Monster from 1950 something, and they couldn't do like a good alien, so they just took a gorilla suit, like your classic like 40s Hollywood gorilla suit, and they stuck like a diver helmet on it and put some antennas on it, and that's the Robot Monster.
It's like Scooby-Doo.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Can you run that by me again?
And unfortunately, I don't believe Robot Monster is public domain, so I don't think we'll get to watch it on this show.
Hang on.
But yeah, you'll just have to look it up, Silarn. You'll have to look up Robot Monster.
What year was it made?
50, like 2 or 3. I think it's one of those. But it's notoriously
53.
bad. There's like a bubble machine. Oh, he found it.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
Yeah, Roman. So, yeah, so Manos the game has been it's been full of fun and surprises. I've had fun with it. And of course, what is this season but it's supposed to be full of fun and surprises and, some treats, right? I mean, it's the time of the year. So I would say that we have a really special treat for you guys tonight. And that's no trick. It's a serious treat because we're continuing our minisodes as we have been with Suspense, which I think we've enjoyed. It's a very much an early 50s mystery suspense show, not necessarily a horror show.
Yeah, well, missed last week's, so I can't speak to that one. But,
Right. Well,
up until that point,
I will tell you that last week's was very much par for the course with what we've seen from this show so far. And it was a lot of like similar elements to other episodes, like a hodgepodge of all the other episodes that we've already seen combined. So don't feel like you missed that much, Evan, really. But it was your classic woman. She's traveling back to her house. She's been away, but there's a storm and there's a murder on the loose, and she has to go to some house by herself. And the murderer, you don't know who the murderer is, but there's all these weird guys. So it was, I don't know. What did you think, Sylarn?
Well, I speak as someone who that was their first episode of Suspense, but you know, I liked it. I was getting into it. You know, definitely there were things we were making fun of throughout, but you know, the more I think about it, you know, it's, you know, it was fun to be able to follow something and like pick up the clues and be like, okay, well that's, you know.
Yeah, it wasn't like it
That's what's
was
gonna happen.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was easy to
there
guess.
are things you can't predict. There are things that just, you know, it seemed like at one point, you know, there are these two storylines, two characters, and their shenanigans collide.
Yeah. Yeah,
were there any hams and beer last week?
no, unfortunately, no shellfish of any kind to report from last week's episode. If you've been watching Suspense with us, then you'll know that we're on Shellfish Watch, because we've had, at least in like the first 4 episodes, at least one mention of some kind of different crustacean. So it was.
Can we get a? What's the title of this one?
So
do we want to put our
bet
on what the shellfish is gonna be?
So the title of tonight's episode is The Black Prophet, and this stars one of the Titans of Terror, Mr. Boris Karloff, and he is playing the titular Black Prophet, who is none other than Rasputin. So we're getting,
snap.
Yeah, so if you didn't know, we're getting Boris Karloff as Rasputin tonight. And we're getting a true crime story tonight here. But the reason that I say all that, I give you the title and I go ahead and tell you that it's Boris Karloff playing Rasputin, is to let you know that it's going to take place in Russia. So I don't know what's the popular like crustacean in Russia in the imperial times. Would you guys got any information on that for me?
Let me look that up. That was something. That's a historical fact I do not know, and it's bothering me. Russian.
Job's Sylarn's going to be our new show researcher. Sylarn's going to be our Jamie. We're just going to have Sylarn look
Probably
everything.
Crabs in Russia, right?
You would.
Crabs everywhere.
Yeah, you would think.
Kamchatka crab, red king crab.
Oh, really?
The world's largest crab is in the Kamchatka Sea.
Okay.
Yeah, look at that. Well,
all right. So what are the odds they mentioned crabs at least once in tonight's episode? What do you guys think?
Red king crab.
I think the over-under is pretty, like, I mean, I think the odds are pretty high. You're going to get at least one mention of crab. Like,
well, how many mentions of batteries are we going to get? Because this is an auto-light show, yeah.
Again, this episode doesn't come with its original commercials, but I know how much we love our Autolite commercials, so I did go back and get us an Autolite commercial for the break, because I know that we're still learning about our car batteries. We all have a lot to learn, so
I'm just waiting for the kind of like quick and kind of latent Autolite plug in the episode where they bring up batteries.
Oh, I don't know if that's
something Evan says?
Evan, I don't even think Job got that pun that he made there indirectly.
Well, what did I say?
You said, see, now I can't remember the exact words, but you said
just rode through it.
You said something Autolite plug. Is Autolite gonna plug or something? And that's Autolite. That's what they do, is plugs, spark plugs and batteries.
They're all about plugs.
They're all about plugs. So
hey, but not hair plugs.
No, they're not. You wouldn't want to put
No,
hair plugs in your car in your outlet for your spark plugs. I don't think that'd work out.
You only have to top off your head with water 3 times.
I only have to water this baby 3 times a year.
Chia.
Yeah. So we will see. I don't know. Again, this was an episode that when I saw it, I was excited about because Boris Karloff playing Rasputin. It's just a great, it just seems like a fit, doesn't it? Like, of course he should be playing a crazy. I mean, I think Lugosi would
put him in a beard,
right,
long robe.
Yeah, he'll kill it. I think Lugosi probably would have done a good Rasputin too, but I'm excited to see how Karloff does it. And I'll tell you,
Rasputin had those wild eyes.
Yeah, well, right. Yeah, I don't know who could. He definitely had the wild eyes. That's how he was able to kind of put everybody kind of under his spells with his gaze. At least that's what
I think Fred Armisen could play a good Rasputin.
He probably could.
He would.
He definitely could.
I would love to see that.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of comedy stars, we've got a comedy legend in tonight's episode. And should I tell you now, or do you want to wait? Do you want to wait and see?
I'm gonna wait and see on this one because I've got two names in my head that I am like wondering who's gonna be.
Well,
one I'll get mad, the other one I'll get really excited about.
Well, I hope this is the one that you get excited about, and I'll leave it at that. I'm excited. Anything else before we get into tonight's episode of Suspense, boys?
So are they called red king crabs because of communism?
For the party, Evan.
Okay. They're invited.
Yeah, they're invited to the world's biggest crab. They say that they can grow up to, let me read here, 24 feet, long.
Stop! No, that's not, no.
No, look it up.
Are you sure?
Their wingspan from claw to claw.
Job, are you confusing? Are you confusing the inch, the inches and the feet markings?
I am absolutely not confusing it, and also the legs are 8 feet long. So
stop it. Okay, shut the fuck up. All right.
Do you have any more crab facts for us?
I'll think of some more. I'll look them up.
Okay,
perfect. I'll think it. Perfect. That's what facts are.
If you can get away with AI images and posting that nonsense on Facebook.
Yes, I think you can. Have an 8-foot crab with 8-foot legs. Yes, I think you could.
The red king crab is the largest crab in the sea.
Oh my! Well, we'll see if we get any 8-foot crab legs tonight. So, on that note, if you boys have it queued up,
are we starting at 0?
Or we probably you're right, Evan. Yes, we're skipping that little intro there. So, what do we need to go to 15 seconds? That's where I'm at. I'm at 15.
I'm gonna go to 16.
God damn it, Joe.
One step ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I know what's gonna happen before you do.
Are we
ready?
Are we here?
I'm here.
All right.
I'm here.
Let me make sure our audience can actually see it. Hold on. That might be
audience. Are you here?
They're here, but they don't know what's happening. Don't worry. All right, I got it. Okay. So if everybody's got it queued up, just waiting for, okay, all right, then we're going to go ahead and get into the exciting beginning of Suspense, The Black Prophet with Boris Karloff, right now. Starting by that warm fire.
that one log fire.
Yeah. Dee dee. Sad guitar.
You know his real name wasn't Boris, right?
It was Rasputin.
There it is.
What?
Oh.
Leslie Nielsen?
Yep, Leslie Nielsen. Is that who you hoped it was, Job?
No.
Who did
you
you-
know who I hoped it was?
Who?
The two names I have in my head. The one I hated, I would hate to see, would be W.C. Fields. The one I would get absolutely giddy about seeing would be Shemp.
1916.
And you would know this.
Wield a power greater and stranger than the Tsar's.
Oh,
And they crept through the
so
city
much
and
hiss on this.
ugly but persistent.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to hear.
It is.
Kill Rasputin.
I would not want to be in 1916 St. Petersburg. Jesus
Oh,
Christ,
God.
what's going on? Just like,
Just
oh,
nice.
oh no, he's injecting like,
Poison.
is it poison? Oh man.
I left instructions. If it is Rasputin, he won't be shown down here till I'm alone. What about the wine?
Oh.
Better powder some crystals and glasses.
Yes, do it.
Yeah, if you don't know about the story of Rasputin, you're about to find out. Well, I don't know if this is true.
Poison would be diffused.
Just gonna poison
On no
everything.
account.
No,
can
they,
these
so
glasses.
he was like, there was like a whole, day he was killed, they, you know, they
There's enough poison
invited
in these
him
that
under
makes
the
to finish 20.
pretenses of a
Wait,
party.
wait. Just wait. Save it.
Will you
Save
wait
it.
upstairs? Mr. Oranov is there, in the little anteroom at the end of the passageway.
Don't want to spoil anything, Cylon.
And tell him to stop playing that gramophone. I don't want him to think that there's anyone else at home.
Your Highness.
Nicholas.
Sergei.
You're late.
I was held up at the palace. You've made the arrangements?
Yes. Oh, Doctor, when I call, come down at once.
Where's Oranov?
Upstairs.
I can't believe that tonight has really come.
How do you think it looks?
As though you had arranged it. So everything were waiting.
Well,
Perhaps if I...
disarrange things a little.
What did he say when you called?
He accepted at once. Said we'd have a drink here and then go on down to the Gypsies.
Pour some tea in the other cups.
Yes,
This table's too neat. Poison.
Yep, anytime I see a too neat of a table
Oh,
arrangement, I
crap.
say somebody's poisoned this meal.
Nicky! What? Fool!
You fool, Nikki.
It's poison. I told you.
I don't touch anything. And above
It's all
don't touch these
poison, it's all
cakes.
poison.
All day I felt that it could
Any
not.
of this?
But in
It
some way
looks
you
so
thought
good.
What were the rumors at the palace?
Tsarovich had another attack this morning and the accursed bleeding started again. Of course, Rasputin was called in at once.
What kind of Arrested
Evidently it still
Development
works.
gag is
It's
that?
devil's
Like,
magic.
all the food is
Stop
poison.
Child fellas.
And everyone got poisoned at the party, except
Everyone is waiting
Rasputin.
about to see what new powers he will acquire as a result of his latest...
It turned into one of the Tsar's
Are you
better
quite sure that he
parties.
doesn't suspect anything? I thought suddenly on my way over here that perhaps he had engineered this meeting. And it is really we who are being led into his trap.
Nicky, you must remain calm. Only one thing is important. That we destroy this maniac before he destroys Russia.
I still can't understand why he would
Too
really
late.
come here of all places. And alone.
To win us over. That's obvious. We can be drawn into his camp. He'll rule the Tsar completely.
Whatever he may have done, this is still murder.
Nicky, think of the thousands of Russian soldiers who've been killed by his intrigue. Men of our own regiments. You'd better go upstairs and be absolutely quiet till I call you.
Sergei,
Yes.
are you sure that our motives absolve us completely?
I'm not looking for absolution.
Very solemn so far. They're not happy about having to do this.
Oh, they're Russian nobility. They consider themselves knights, but
They gotta sneak around. Yeah, they have to really like a cowardly way to, dishonorably way to kill a guy, I guess.
These days, they just throw them out the windows in Russia.
Is that him? Slinking down the steps?
Do you think Rasputin would have survived Putin?
Are you lighting the candles, huh? Well, you gave me quite a start. But
They have
perhaps
to
you
throw
aren't
him out
coming.
of the second window.
Well,
So-
Putin does have his own Rasputin,
Of course he does.
I enter your house.
the head of the
Sergei.
Orthodox Church.
My dear little enemy. So this is your famous palace, the Sudekin Museum, huh? Well, I am here. It is me, the infamous Rasputin.
It's me,
That's really
Rasputin.
Who has always loved you. Only today I said to the Tsar, that young Sergei is
sweaty.
the right one. I said he has brains in his head. The Tsar is very fond of you, you know that. And so am I, in spite of the way you've treated me.
But I'm glad you're here. It's so difficult to meet anyone honestly at court to talk.
You've
without-
never come to my house, and I've asked you so often. And always excuses.
I told you I bought the Garfield house, and you didn't even care.
That beautiful cabinet. Those little drawers like a doll's house.
Yes. I understand things are a bit silly in this
Little
one.
drawers.
Yes, you've heard
Just
already.
love little drawers.
He was ill, poor darling, but I made it. As long as I'm here,
Before he
no
left,
harm.
he pulled all the little drawers out.
Remember that, Sergei. Well, why are you so silent? Aren't you going to give me anything to drink?
It seems so strange.
Evan,
seeing
this
you
is
here.
Sheagorath.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is strange. And this is a strange room. Like a vault. Whom do you keep buried?
Rasputin would absolutely have to let it.
All those beautiful
Yes,
women
he
whose
would.
hearts you have broken.
I played Oblivion the other day and I summoned
This is part of the
Haskell
line,
46 times for Sheagorath's
Ah,
pleasure.
that's- And tonight we go to the gypsies, huh? Good, I'm just in the mood for it. Musical, all those wild...
Here's a mission where he was
lovely
asking me to just summon his Chamberlain over and over again. I did it like 46 times.
Yeah.
Some friends dropped by.
And I suppose they scuttled away when they heard I was coming.
Here, let us drink to our first meeting in my house.
It's definitely not poison.
Smells like almonds.
Why do you look at me like that?
I don't know. This wine...
Not a bad vintage. Chateau Isère, 1908.
We should
Challenge
think while
here is
you
to make it
found
look like you
typical
drank your
Russian
wine with
honest
him.
wine, with no foreign intrigues.
You talk as though I were trying to poison you.
Are you?
Yeah, Dog Star.
With you, Sergei.
These cakes are way too
I can
neat.
do great things for you. I need men like you to work with me, men with brains, not those laced-up mummies at court.
Court mummies.
Good. Good wine.
Good.
Good.
Good. He just
Yeah,
sounds
you
like
could
Frankenstein's monster drinking too much wine.
I hear you play like an
You
angel.
could have told me that was
Play for
Jack Elam for a second and I would have believed you in that scene. Just the way he did his
Yes,
eyes.
Sergei, I can't see you. Closer. Closer.
He's already feeling that wine.
Here on this stool. Let me see what you really are. You've been hiding from me.
What are you doing?
What?
Our destinies are very close. I've always known. I will be with you until the hour of your death.
Why do you say that?
Sometimes the living and the dead are bound together. Oh, I have had many warnings. The other day when I crossed the river, I had a vision. I saw the great square filled with bodies. Many of the great ones were amongst them. And the river had turned blood red. Did I frighten you? No. Tonight we must laugh and make music, because we are no longer enemies. And it is the law that men must love one another. More wine, Sergei.
Oh, really? God, this is gonna be easier than I thought.
Do me a favor before we go. Play me one song. You know my favorite.
Oh, he's definitely feeling it.
Oh, I'm hungry.
Those cakes are no longer neat.
You must not hate me anymore. You must love me as they do at the palace of Lazarevich and his father and mother, huh? Good. Now, one song. One song. Before we go.
Got a little mandolin out.
He's definitely got the
You know what that
munchies.
song reminds me of? When I was a boy, I used to wander along the shore of our village hunting for seagulls.
What do you say? Seagulls' eggs?
One autumn evening when the birds were flying low over the fields, and I had my first vision, and I knew that somehow I must get to St. Petersburg, that I, a simple peasant lad, have been chosen to save Russia. And I went. I did as I was bidden. With my great muddy boots, I walked past the guards and flunkies into the rooms of our little father, the Tsar. And I told him the truth. I alone have told him the truth. Only I. Don't stop, Sergei. That is so beautiful. Hear me. You are an officer, an aristocrat, and you hate me. But you...
What is it? What's the matter?
My throat,
Uh-oh.
so dry.
Got the cotton mouth.
More wine, Sergei. More wine. More wine.
Bing. Well, let's take a break right there. I think that's the perfect spot. We're halfway through with The Black Prophet, starring Boris Karloff as Rasputin. What are we thinking so far, boys?
So, Boris is giving a really bombastic performance.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
He is all over the place. Like I was kind of expecting him to play it a little more, you know, a little more composed, a little more
He's
mysterious.
very stagey. Like, he's in like a stage production.
Well,
Playing like a... Yeah.
yeah, I guess he's playing with a lot of gusto, right? That's kind of the
Yeah.
he is it's funny. It's what he reminded me of is he's like, more wine, more wine. Immediately my mind just went to Leslie Nielsen in Dracula Dead and Loving It. Renfield, look at me. I'm drinking wine and eating chicken. He's like, it's the same energy essentially. It's like just, you know, like, cause he's like, he's kind of like a roller coaster. He's like happy, but he's paranoid, but he like, I don't know. Karloff is definitely relishing the opportunity to play such a layered real life character as Rasputin, you know? Like it's kind of nuts to see him play a slob too. Cause it's not, you know, when he's a monster as a slob, it's understandable, but just being a, you know, a drunken, just being a guy, it's kind of like, whoa, all right, he's going for it. It's a different side of Karloff. I like to see it. So I'm enjoying it so far. I mean, it's funny.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I want to see how much more poison he can ingest.
Well, and that I think speaks to the true story of Rasputin, which Sylarn, you were alluding to earlier. Maybe you can shed a little more light on it in terms of the truth, because there's obviously been a lot of myths surrounding the death of Rasputin and how much poison did it take to kill him, and you know, was he shot, drowned, all these different things, and obviously a lot of it is myth, and what the truth is, I'm not quite sure that I know. I don't know, Sylarn, if you can shed any light on the I mean, and we'll get here. It'll be, you know, we can compare the differences to what's happening here in the real story. But I mean, so far, what are you seeing? Is it lining up?
Well, yeah, initially it was two guys, you know, meeting down in the, you know, around the fire, drinking, and, you know, Rasputin getting drunk, but the poison didn't affect him.
Mm-hmm.
According to Yusupov's account, Prince Felix Yusupov.
And that was, so they did
so far.
So that's about what we've seen so far. Is he's been taking in the poison, and you can tell it's affecting him. It was so funny when he's like, I can't swallow, and then all of a sudden you just see all this like water like fall out of Karloff's mouth. It was like, all right, he's committed to this. He's again, it feels like he's meeting the moment. Like it's a big role and he's making the most out of it, which is what I wanted. You know, I would have been disappointed if he tried to play it subtle, you know? I mean, again, larger than life character like Rasputin, I want to see a larger than life performance. And I think Karloff has given that so far. And I think Leslie Nielsen is holding his own too. It's kind of a two-hander between them pretty much. And I'd say that Leslie Nielsen is, you know, he doesn't have much to do. Karloff's got monologues. Karloff's kind of stealing the show.
Yeah, you kind of walked in giving a speech almost.
And he hasn't stopped since. Only to take some sips of wine and some bites of cake, which he inhaled that cake. So
he really did.
He
just
did.
Went down.
I like my cake, mom. Yeah, he definitely was like in Cookie Monster mode for sure. It was pretty great. Yeah, so I do love seeing Karloff kind of be like just a. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead. No, you.
Oh, I was just saying I enjoy Karloff being a Tasmanian devil. What were you gonna say?
I'm just reading up on some more interesting stuff about like the forensic investigation into Rasputin.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you were reading more interesting stuff about crabs.
Well, they haven't brought up the Red King crab yet.
No, they haven't. Yeah, they have not. But what did you?
You know that the Red King crab feeds on it can go up to depths of like 20,000 feet, and it likes to feed on the 20-foot worms that live at that depth.
Really?
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Well, what did you
know that?
Oh God.
What?
No. What did I know? What did I know? What?
Well, last year in Providenia, which is in the waters of Kamchatka in Russia, they call like a juvenile crab, a juvenile red king crab that was about 5 feet high and 14 feet wide.
Wow. I'm sorry, did you say 5 feet high?
Yeah, they're measuring the legs and then up to the head. So the legs are probably like 3 feet high. And then the carapace, measure from like the belly up to the roof of the head is like 2 feet.
Jesus Christ. Well, what did you... Okay,
Yeah.
so what did you learn about Rasputin?
So...
God damn.
The University of Toronto did a forensic analysis of his remains.
This is your Rasputin fact. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go continue.
And they went through records from the official surgeons and whatnot, and they don't have a record of a poisoning or a drowning. And those are the two, things that are probably brought up. Is that, so I remember our sister telling us about Rasputin when we were kids, and she said, "Oh, they tried to poison him. They shot him, and he was still alive, and then they had to drown him, and he didn't know how to swim." And what they're really seeing is he was probably killed the popular Russian way of they just shot him in the head.
That's the popular Russian way, huh?
Yeah. I mean, the doctors didn't report poisoning, but it's just... So the picture of Rasputin, there's a picture of his body, and he does have like a single round through his head.
I've seen
the front of his head.
I've seen the picture, which I know this is going to sound even more macabre. I saw it like when I was probably way too young to see it, because in Cylon who remember this, our grandparents had this like book of like most famous photos of the 20th century, and one of
Reader's
them,
Digest,
yeah, was it Reader's Digest? Was that
Reader's Digest? It was a big ass hardcover book.
See,
looking at pictures of dead bodies in the Reader's Digest.
I mean,
we did, yeah.
Like, it opened you up to the world.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, hey, I didn't ask to see a picture of Rasputin's dead body at age 7, but I saw it, and it made me the man that I am today. So,
and when you got to the 60s section, you could see boobies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what those books were really. Yeah, I mean, that's what we were all reading them for, really. I mean, no, but it did have that picture of Rasputin's body, and it had bullet holes in it, didn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just...
Yeah.
Had some crabs hanging off of him too, right?
I think, yeah. Well, not the red king crab. I mean,
are you sure?
The juvenile red king crab are about 1 foot, at birth, are 1 foot from claw to claw. So I doubt that he's covered in these big ass crabs. Not a red king crab, probably something else, like blue crab or.
Yeah, I mean,
crab.
it's gruesome, to be sure, and I don't encourage you to go look it up, but hey, if it's good enough for Reader's Digest, then it's probably all over the place.
Thrown in the water. He was thrown in the water, so he looks more gnarly than you would think.
So there it is. So we'll see. Are they gonna show us Karloff's dead body at the end? Are they gonna model it after the photo of Rasputin? Who knows? We'll see. They had a photo. Again, it's so funny. I don't know why. Like, I want to think of Rasputin as being in like medieval times, but then like at the beginning of this episode, they're talking about the gramophone, and they're talking about the like they're showing the no, what was it that they just did? There was something else that I was like, oh yeah, no, Rasputin, this is 20th century. So that's the whole thing, because obviously the death of Rasputin is part of really the big myth, right? Like that's part of why he's still remembered today. But during his lifetime, it was this belief that he held some kind of like hypnotic sway over the Tsar of Russia, basically, right?
Yeah, well, he ingratiated himself with the royal family, mainly through the Tsarina, where he, came in with all this religious stuff and supposedly cured the crown prince or whomever. Also,
yeah.
What?
Yeah,
he
yeah.
also, was wheeling and dealing all aspects of St. Petersburg, which that was most of the time that's what Russian aristocrats, Russian clergy were doing at that time, was just wheeling and dealing and plotting and this one thing I found interesting just in some of the stuff I've read about Imperial Russia is that like the secret police of the Tsar were like actively building up movements that would later become like the Bolsheviks, Mensheviks, that kind of thing. And, Rasputin, of course, was involved with the Okhrana, so there was that. He was just all over the place.
I
That's
mean,
how he built his power.
he's seems like a Machiavellian type of guy, right?
Very
at the
smart.
very
Very
least, if he wasn't using magic and mysticism, he was definitely using Machiavelli, to be sure. So, fuck Machiavelli.
Look up the current head of the Russian Orthodox Church. I mean, he is.
What
if you want to talk Machiavellian? He's pretty damn close to Rasputin, and it's kind of like how he can play the game.
Are you the guy that you were saying earlier? He's Putin. He's Putin's Rasputin.
Yeah.
I almost said Putin's Rasputin. Putin. That's how I'm gonna start saying it from now on. Putin. Like Rasputin, which I can't
say Tootin'?
So I watched a while ago. I listened to the last podcast on the left series on Rasputin, and for some reason at one point they start saying his name like Rasputin, and that's like all I hear in my head now. That's all I've heard in my head all day when I knew I was going to show this was Rasputin. So,
if you take out the RAS from Rasputin, you get
Putin. There it is.
Wow.
Well, of course, we're about to go to a break, and like every break with Suspense, you're going to be getting a little bit of education on how to keep your car up going into the winter. So I hope that you're going to take notes. I hope you've got your pen and your paper handy, and you're ready for a little bit of education, because, we have to fulfill the qualities of an educational stream. And so the Auto-Like commercials fulfill that. Certainly not me. It's all Mr. Rex Marshall, host of, I guess this guy's the host of Suspense. I don't know. Does it have a host? I don't know. Do you call the pitch man the host?
Does he count as the
Does he
host?
count? I don't know. Yeah, we'll see, Dogstar. Hope it's spark plugs. Could be your battery. I don't know. It's a surprise. So we're going to enjoy this commercial from Suspense's sponsor, Autolite. And then we come back, we'll get into the exciting conclusion of Suspense, The Black Prophet, starring Boris Karloff. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Hi there. This is Rex Marshall speaking for Autolite. We'll get back to our suspense story, The Purloined Letter, in just a moment. Now, while we take a brief intermission, I'd like to show you one of our little Autolite cartoons. This little story concerns a fellow named Charles the Chef, who was known far and wide for his culinary creations, particularly his wedding cakes. Well, this one was one of his finest, so Charles was delivering it himself, driving very, very carefully. But all of a sudden Charles' car began to jump like a Jinx jitney. Oh, that's terrible. The bride and groom were terribly upset, and Charles the chef was fit to be fried. Well, I hope your car isn't bad enough to ever break up a wedding, but maybe it isn't giving you exactly the smooth kind of a ride that you'd prefer. So let me remind you that if your spark plugs aren't functioning properly, and if they're worn out, like this one, well, that may be the reason. But you know, when your spark plugs are right, you'll get quicker starts and smoother riding every single time. So that's why it's such a smart thing to pay a visit to your Autolite spark plug dealer. You see, he'll be ready to check your spark plugs with this exclusive Autolite plug check indicator. Now, simply by matching the appearance of your spark plugs with this handy indicator, you and your dealer can tell in a jiffy if they're right for the kind of driving that you do. Well, if cleaning or adjustments are needed, he has the proved Autolite spark plug cleaner and all the latest information on how to do the job quickly and efficiently. Now, if replacements are required, he'll recommend the proper type of ignition-engineered Autolite spark plug best suited to give your car smoother performance, quick starts, and gas savings. You know, all Autolite spark plugs are ignition-engineered by the same Autolite engineers who designed the coil, the battery, the distributor, the generator, and all the other important parts of the complete ignition systems which are used as original factory equipment on many leading makes of our finest cars and trucks. So that's why ignition-engineered Autolite spark plugs are tops in quality and tops in performance. Visit your Autolite spark plug dealer. Easy to find them. Just look for this sign, or simply call Western Union by number and ask for operator 25. Without obligation, she'll tell you the name of the nearest dealer where you can get ignition-engineered Autolite spark plugs. So pay him a visit soon, won't you? Because remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite.
And we are back. So there was your, I think that was spark plugs is what we got there. So there's your spark plug commercial for the week. I hope you got your fix in there, Dogstar. But yeah, we do always love those Autolite commercials. Those are a lot of fun. So, Evan got me on a track there as we were noticing in the commercial. Operator 25 there, he started reminding me of a different kind of operator, a different kind of operating service, Mancierge, which great Tim Heidecker sketch.
I love to just get you on a completely
off.
Right,
yeah, I mean it's. Yeah.
Back to the show.
Yeah, because then it's like, because then my mind is like, okay, how do you circle it all back around? How do you connect this so that you can do it? You can find a way. Because that is the beauty with this public domain horror stuff, is that I can almost always take one thing that you would never think is connected to something public domain horror related, and I can thread the needle with public domain horror movies. It's a small world.
Like the 6 degrees of public domain.
It is. We have learned that. Like, I feel like every movie we watch, it's like there's at least one person in the cast or crew that was involved with some other movie, which makes all the movies connected down to some level. I mean,
it all comes back to Kevin Bacon.
And it does. Well, okay, guys, let's try this. So let's connect Boris. Let's see if we can connect Boris Karloff to Kevin Bacon. You think we can do it? Okay. So Boris.
Wikipedia.
Let's see if we can rationalize through this. So Boris Karloff. Okay.
Yeah. Connected to movies.
But what's the
easy.
Grinch? Is there a connection there? No. I'm trying to think of what Kevin Bacon's done. See, that's why that game never makes sense to me, because I'm still like, what is Kevin Bacon?
Trimmers.
Kevin
Trimmers.
Bacon was in. I can't. It's
Edward Scissorhands.
I'm gonna have to do the research. It'll take me some time. I can't just do it here on the spot like I hoped. If I legitimately was going to do it here on the spot, it'd probably take me 30 minutes because I'd need to like really do the research. But I'm sure our chat might be able to figure it out quicker than I could. But I can't even think of things Kevin Bacon has been in, man. I don't know. So I'm not going to solve it here, so I won't even try. But I'm sure there's Leslie Nielsen can fit in there somewhere, because we got Boris Karloff and Leslie Nielsen, which right there to me is a huge two acting, like that's a bridging of two generations of actors right there, right? Like think of all the actors that Boris Karloff acted with, all the stuff he did, and then Leslie Nielsen. Those are some wide nets, you know? So Bacon falls in somewhere. I'm not sure where, but he's somewhere in between those nets. He's that crab with the 8-foot legs that's caught in between both nets. One claw in each net. It was a bloodbath.
I hope they can make a net big enough to catch a red king crab. Usually they have to spear them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Enough with this crab nonsense. Enough with this crab nonsense.
From the boat, like with a harpoon down into the water, and obviously they can't reach 20,000 feet. But sometimes the red king crabs, even the adults, will come up to like the seabed, like between 30 feet and whatever. Well, 30,000 feet or 20,000 feet and 30 feet water. It's documented. Look it up.
You know what I say? I say crab facts, more like crap facts. That's what I say there, son.
They're very good facts, and you asked for them.
I asked for your faked facts.
They're true.
Well, I'll just have to take your word for it. We're about to get into the exciting conclusion of The Black Prophet with Boris Karloff, and I mean, I was gonna ask you guys how do we think this is gonna shake out, but I guess we already kind of know how this shakes out, right?
Yeah, is this really even keeping us in suspense?
Yeah, the one episode where it's like, yeah, you lost me. I already know how this one ends. This just doesn't work for me.
They're gonna give a twist.
They're gonna change history. He was a werewolf the entire time.
The only time in his career Boris Karloff played a werewolf is when he played Werewolf Rasputin combo. Wouldn't that have been? That would have been amazing. Now that would have actually been a television event. Okay. Unfortunately, that's not what we have. And you know, it's funny. I feel compelled to make this observation before we get into it. You know, we've seen, what was it, 2 weeks ago, Evan and I watched A Cask of Amontillado with Bela Lugosi, and he was drinking a bunch of wine. And
yeah,
we debated on whether or not we thought Lugosi was drinking real wine, and I think that we kind of landed on the consensus that it was possible. There was, because of the Lon Chaney thing, which if you don't know about that, it was Lon Chaney on Tales of Tomorrow when he played Frankenstein's monster, got drunk beforehand, and then on live TV proceeded to think that it was a rehearsal and kind of blow some of his cues. He's supposed to break a chair and he like picks it up and then puts it down and says save for later or something like that.
Very gingerly.
It's like you can't really tell what he's saying, but he's saying something and the character's mute, so you know it's not part of the performance. Like, you know, again,
at one time.
All love and respect to Lon Chaney Jr. If you watch the show, you know that we stan Lon Chaney Jr. But it has been, the makeup man has sworn the makeup man who did his makeup for this episode, that they were drinking before the show started. So
I can see him doing that.
yeah, you'll have to go look it up so basically what I'm getting at is
Tales of Tomorrow, right?
Tales of Tomorrow, Frankenstein. We knew Lon Chaney was drinking. We suspected that Lugosi may have been drinking. What do we think here with Karloff? Drinking or not?
No. I think he's a classically trained actor. I think he's playing over the top.
Right?
He's professional.
Right. So I was gonna say, right? I think we're all on the same page that he just seems like too.
I think he was trained at RADA, so he's very professional.
I don't know. I don't know that he had training like that.
Hang on.
I don't know.
Let's look it up.
I do want this to be true, though, that he was drinking.
Wouldn't that be great? Yeah. No, he seems like too much of a. I mean, again, Karloff is the guy that if you're working in the middle of the afternoon, you've got to stop and take a tea break. So, I'm gonna say that it just doesn't.
Yeah, he's just hopped up on all that tea.
Right. Yeah, he's got too much caffeine running through his body. He doesn't need the alcohol. That's probably, if he's drinking anything, it's just some kind of clear tea. Man loves this.
Boris Karloff got his start in Canada.
Yeah, he was like a truck driver and then got his start on like stage, like not like summer stock, but definitely that kind of like very like touch and go kind of like not local theater, but like, you know, he was a like a hard working man, like, that had to like work his way to becoming an actor. He didn't like go to school and get trained and get, you know, on the London stage. I mean, no, he was a truck driver again, and he made 100 movies before he made Frankenstein. So that's what his daughter always likes to say. So, but we're about to get into the conclusion of it here. So we'll see. They're going to change history. Is Karloff going to actually show us that he is drinking and proceed to get progressively drunk in the final 10 minutes? We'll find out. So without further ado, if you boys have it queued up, and I am at 1350.
1350. I'm at 1354.
All right. Well, okay.
I'm at 1352 now. That's all I'm going to give you.
Well, you're close. All right. Then without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the exciting conclusion of The Black Prophet with Boris Karloff right now.
You said Boris Karloff, not Boris Karloff.
You don't know what I said.
I do know what you said.
Yeah, he's really playing.
Oh, here we go.
Rana, how long's he been in there?
Almost an hour. How soon does the poison take effect?
Almost at once.
Look, it's Will Arnett.
Must have drunk something by now.
Music stopped. It's over. He's dead. Wait, Sergei said he would call us.
But he must be dead by now.
Sergei, it's done.
Sears in the house. Welcome, Sears.
Poison has had no effect.
That's impossible. There's enough poison in one of those cakes alone.
I tell you, he's eaten 5 of those cakes and drunk 4 glasses of wine. You're right, Mickey. He's a devil
Oh, counting drinks? Not cool.
He knows. What are you going to do? Stand straight there, Ronald. Go Give me your gun. No, you can't. It's got to be finished. If you shoot him, there'll be traces of blood. What difference does that make now? Quickly. Sergei, listen to me. You know what he prophesied. Yes, I know. It's got to be done. Whatever happens to any of us. Sergei, listen to me. I beg of you.
The poison must take effect. It may be that such...
Let him go, Serge. This was madness from the beginning.
He's doing his Frankenstein growl, basically. God, I love that. Oh my God, what? See, oh yeah, that's a wild, like, staircase on the set. Where'd he go? Must have run out to take a leak.
Great and terrible things, Sergei. I was right. This room is a vault, and within its walls... Oh, Sergei, this wine is heavy. Why did you make me drunk before we go to the gypsy?
Oh, Dog Star, you did it! That was great. Boom, there it is. That's the one.
I know what you were planning.
That was kudos, Dog Star. Very well done.
I'm always the stronger. I have on my side all the powers of heaven. I walk on the wings of the wind. Oh, Sergei, give me your arm. I am a little gypsy. We go to the gypsies, the wild, lovely. Wait, Sergei. We have forgotten something. Don't try to kill me, Sergei. You have a gun in your pocket. But if I die, within 1 year, the reign of the Romanovs will end, and the Black Knight will engulf all Russia. This is what she tells me. You fool! Why do you want to kill me? Can't you see? And without me, the whole pack of cards will crumble. Give me the guns, Sergei.
Yeah, Sears, I guess they allow that in Kevin Bacon rules.
I command you. Give me the gun.
Although he wasn't killed by Jason, technically, though. He was killed by his mother, so I don't know, Sears. Spoiler alert. Oh. Boom. I did it.
You all right? Sergei? Is he dead? He's dead.
You thought.
Quickly, we must get him to the river.
We must get the car. Someone say with Sergei.
Help me. We must get rid of these things. Move them over there.
Let's drag his cord.
You burned this?
In the furnace.
Well, let's get some rags and water.
Oh. Uh-oh. What They are going to change history on us.
Is he being possessed by
Rasputin? Maybe.
Am I muted? Can you guys hear me?
No, yeah, we can hear you. You're good. I have you on the same. Yeah, no, you're not muted. You're here. You're good. Oh, he's alive.
Alive.
This happened in real life. It may have happened. According to the report by the guy who killed him. Said he didn't kill anybody. He was actually killed.
Zombie Rasputin. Rasputin's on the loose.
Not another set of doors.
Oh, there's no way out.
Now I can see why you never invited me to your house. There's no way to get out of this place.
Such was the death of Rasputin. Within a year from
Quit
that night,
blinking, Boris.
the reign of the Romanovs came to an end. The prophecy of Rasputin had been fulfilled.
Dee. Auto light brings us this
Thanks, Autolight.
classic tale of Russian history. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Let's see, do they got any? Nope, just more little things at the end. Well, that was Suspense, the Black Prophet with Boris Karloff. What did we think, boys?
Pretty good episode. I mean, it ended. Just kind of ended.
Yeah.
They did the thing and he died, and that was that.
That was it. Yeah, it wasn't anything too crazy. They definitely didn't deviate from history in any wild ways or anything. I don't know. I was a little disappointed. I was hoping maybe we'd at least see them throw his body into the river. I feel like that's always the part, you know.
Yeah.
Throwing the body into the river. But I understand that it's maybe a little hard to do on live TV, you know. But
Right, you have to have somebody off screen make the splash noise. Somebody like throws a little bit of water.
Yeah, I think that would work. I think that would definitely work. I mean, again, if these old TV shows have taught us anything, it's about economy. It's about using the few resources you have to actually try to deliver something bigger. You know, it's like, oh yeah, maybe we are stuck inside on this little sound stage, but sure, we can do a tracking shot of the main coast. I mean, that was like, you know, that was the second episode. It was like, it had that crazy shot. So every once in a while, and this show has tried, wild things. But I mean, it was all pretty grounded. I would say that the highlight was definitely Karloff's performance, without a doubt. I think you could tell he was having fun, which is that any, I was going to say any good Karloff performance, but every Karloff performance is a good Karloff performance. But I would say that you can always tell when he's really having fun, and tonight it seemed like he was really having fun. His look tonight kind of reminded me of his look in House of Frankenstein, which, if you've seen that before, he does not play Frankenstein's monster. He plays a mad scientist. And he looks like, named Rasputin. Well, at the beginning of the film, anyway, he certainly looks like Rasputin because he's got this long, scraggly beard, and he's got this long hair, and he's, I guess this was like only 5-6 years between those two performances. So, I was also happy to see some familiar Karloff things, like, when he was saying this wine is good, it just reminded me of the monster in Bride of Frankenstein saying good, and there was when he was literally growling from the other room. It was surprising because he actually was saying words, but he was growling the words, and we know what a Karloff growl sounds like because that's half of everybody's impression of the Frankenstein monster is to give that growl, and that's that's Karloff. That's Karloff, like 100%. That's his growl, and so if you do that growl when you do Frankenstein monster, or bolts, as our good buddy Siler likes to call him.
Bolt.
Then that growl, that's a Karloff growl, I would say. So it was just nice to see those little like familiar touches in Karloff's performance, right? He knows how to hit the right buttons. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Any other observations? So, I mean, Evan, you've seen all but one other episode of this series as we've seen it so far. I mean, how do you feel tonight stacked up?
I think that tonight's was maybe on the lower end.
Yeah, I can feel that.
Yeah, there wasn't necessarily like any suspense to really be had, right? Like, because like we said, we knew how it was gonna end. So, I would agree with that for sure. I would say that, I don't know why I was expecting them to maybe pull out some stops, but I was kind of hoping maybe they had something up their sleeve. Ultimately, I'd say it didn't work out that way. But again, it's, if this was a horror show, maybe he would have risen from the grave and come after those guys. And maybe you take liberty with history if you're a horror show. But here, unfortunately, we got the real thing, and it just kind of ended kind of abruptly. So. But it was enjoyable. Silarn, anything in comparison to last week's episode, or any just general thoughts about tonight's story?
Well, one's an apple, one's an orange. I mean, pretty much stayed true. It was just a historical, not retelling, just a historical reenactment of what happened. Maybe there were some liberties taken on what was said. I mean, you don't know what happened in that basement or what went on between all those men. We weren't there.
Yeah? Well, it turns out we had a camera in there the whole time.
You did not. You did not.
Yep, and we're going to roll the footage right now.
Pull it up, Jamie.
Yeah.
The power of AI, we do know what happened.
I could literally render the video out in Premiere right now. Like, they just this week added that to Premiere Pro, where I can type in and it will render out a 5-second video of whatever I type in. And what it'll also do is, like, let's say that I've got a clip that I need it to be like a second or two longer, but we cut before that. Well, it will generate the other second or two. And it looks like it matches pretty well. So it's terrifying, the technology that they're doing right now. So yes, I can provide some footage to show you what was actually said in the room the night Rasputin was killed. I'll have that for you, Cylon. You better believe.
No, you won't.
I certainly will.
I bet you won't.
Again, the power of AI. Don't you hate it? But yeah, so it was again, if anything tonight was enjoyable because of the legend that is Boris Karloff. So we had fun with Mr. Karloff, and again, just being able to spend a little bit of time with one of the Titans of Terror is a great way to spend any evening in Shocktober. So, and speaking of that, I mean, not to go plug something else, but I do think that if you're one of the few people that still has a cable subscription, I think that you can catch some Bela Lugosi flicks on Turner Classic Movies tonight. So, just, you know, to spread the love to the other, you know, I'd say if you're going to say there are two, you got to choose only two Titans of Terror. To me, I got to say Karloff and Lugosi are like the two. So if you need a little bit of Lugosi to balance out the Karloff you got tonight, you can go find that on Turner Classic Movies, or hey, on our channel, because as you know, we have plenty of Lugosi films and television appearances and serials all over our channel. And not only that, all of our past movies, episodes, everything we've done for Shocktober so far, we got it all over on our YouTube page at Screamstream Live. So you can like and subscribe to stay up to date with all that stuff. And also follow us over on the socials. We are also over on all the socials at Screamstream Live. And, you know, what is it? So it's like every day we've got something scheduled. So I'm having to like keep track of my mind right now of like, okay, what do I got to plug? So tomorrow evening we'll be premiering our riff on Legacy of Blood, which we did back during the summer, which is it didn't air on YouTube, so that'll premiere on YouTube tomorrow evening. Then on Friday we'll be just, you know, getting to it'll be our penultimate episode of the season of the Friday Night Movies. It won't be our penultimate film, because if you know anything about our finale in October, you'll know that it's a double feature. So, but this will be the last episode with a single feature this season. And we're doing it up right with just a good old-fashioned haunted house film. It's you gotta have one during this time of year. It's essential viewing, and so we're offering up a very strange one this Friday. It's a regional film. Well, I say regional, but it's out of California, but it's very indie. And it's just a strange little film, and it's entitled Ghosts of Hanley House from 1968. And of course, as always, Evan brings us a delicious cocktail to pair with the evening's film and a little segment which he calls
What were you drinking?
And what are we going to be drinking on Friday, Evan?
Well, this Friday we've got a ghost, and in light of that, and in light of maybe some recent weather, I thought I'd whip us up something we haven't had before on the show. We're gonna have a haunted hurricane.
Ooh.
So this is a hurricane, but with my little twist on it. So you can make your own hurricane with usually. So I found a couple like different variations on. I don't know if there's like a set in stone recipe for this one, but it's usually like a couple types of rum, orange juice, lime juice, maybe pineapple juice. We're gonna use pineapple juice, and passion fruit syrup.
Oh,
which I had to make. You can't
Oh.
just get that around here, so I made some of that.
Squeezed it with his own hands.
Yeah. Are there scorpions in it? There could be. That's your drink could be haunted by scorpions, but ours are going to be. See, this is my twist on it. We're going to cover our glass with a sheet ghost made of cheesecloth.
Oh,
because
okay.
It's Halloween.
That's a
Haunted
fun little
hurricane.
touch.
Yeah, I thought it'd be a fun little thing.
Wait, did you include that in your recipe notes?
I did. It's at the
Oh
bottom.
shit! I didn't put it
That
in
didn't get
my
cut off.
post. I can. I think I can go back and edit and add it in the text of the post for that.
Okay.
But I did not see that. But I love that little touch. That's great. That's
Yeah.
such a fun little. That's a fun way to do it. So will there be like a straw? Like, will we keep the cheesecloth draped over it the whole time? What's the?
I was thinking maybe we do a straw.
Yeah, because you want to leave. You don't want to just put the cloth on it and then you hand me my cup and then I take the cloth off. I mean, I guess I could drink through the cloth, but then I feel like I'd be getting cloth fibers in my
filtering.
mouth all night. I don't know. I'd start eating the cheesecloth eventually. It's not made of cheese, Garrett. You can't eat it. Yeah. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. Of course, if you want to find that recipe, you can find it over on our Instagram page. Like I said, over on all the socials at ScreamStream Live. And of course, if you want to follow us on the socials, you can find me over on Twitter at Spakenstein. Mr. Evan Sink is on Twitter and Instagram at Caligari Cursed. Siler, you don't have any socials you want to share with the people, do you?
No, I do not.
Okay. Figured I'd check, just in case.
Off the grid.
Off the grid, just the way he likes.
Grid.
Yeah. So well that was a lot of fun. As always, we appreciate you guys hanging out in the chat. Sears, Kathy, Alana, Dogstar, Ethan. Am I missing anybody? If I missed anybody, thanks. And I know if you didn't chat and you just watched, thanks so much for watching. Again, you guys make it so much fun when you're just hanging out. You know, it's makes it fun for us. And you know, it's in the spirit of Shocktober, all of us just, you know, hanging out, having a good time. It's what the season is all about. We're going to keep that going all Shocktober long. So thanks everybody so much for watching tonight. Anything before we sign off tonight, boys?
What I heard.
What did you hear?
If you might have heard this one, I heard that Rasputin can survive for up to depths of 20,000 feet. You heard it here first.
Yeah, I heard it here first. Until Friday. Sweet screams, everybody.
And to all a good fright. Sorry, Silar, do you have a sign off?
Oh wait, yeah, hold on.
No.
Oh, no, yeah, I didn't think he did. All right.
No.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.